Yeah, Bansi have joined. Okay, so in today's session, we are going to see a new experiment. Um, it is all about regularization. Okay, I hope already you aware about regularization. Um, so you may have studied regularization. I would like to give a small introduction about regularization before get into the practical stuff about regularization. So regularization is highly important in machine learning. It is very essential, and also it takes a vital role in machine learning concept. In interview also, I will get question in regularization. So it is a major part. So I would like to give an introduction about this. I mean, uh, we have to discuss some theory part before getting to the practical. Okay. So yeah. Now something have okay name is yeah. So yeah, I would like to open the regularization PPT. So you may have studied this in your theory part, but anyway, so I would like to you know give some more input on that. May be useful for you in practical. So two things are very essential. One is resampling and regularization. So resampling is validate the model, how the model is good, okay, how long the model is good, and how effectively the model is working. This is nothing but assessing the quality of the model. Okay, first step is assessing the quality of the model. So if the quality is enough, and if you're okay, and if you're satisfied with the quality, it is okay. If you're not satisfied with the quality, if the quality is not okay, you have to go for regularization. That is the second part. So first part is validate the model. Second part is regularize the model. Okay. So after assessing the quality of the model, if you feel the quality is not enough, or if you want to increase the quality, in the sense, you have to go for regularization. That is nothing but improving the model. Okay, now we are going to, so previous laboratory we have discussed about validate the model, how to validate the model, that we have discussed. Okay, in last laboratory, how to validate the model, that we have discussed. Okay, so in this laboratory what we are going to discuss is how to regularize the model, or how to improve the model, how to improve the quality of the model. That only we are going to discuss. Okay, so in resampling, we are having cross validation, and in regularization we are having ridge regression and lasso regression. So this is also called L1 regularization and L2 regularization. Ridge regression and lasso regression. It's also called L1 regularization and L2 regularization. So here only it starts. Okay, so just look into it. Regularization. So models can be overfitted most of the time. So where regularization works, where regularization takes place, where we are in the need of regularization. Okay, so yeah, we are getting into that. Suppose if your data distribution is like this, if your data distribution is like this, and you are having a model like this. Okay, you are having a linear regression model, and the linear regression model is fitted on this data distribution like this. In this sense, we can say this is underfitting. Okay, so here fitting is not good. We can say this is underfitting because the line is getting deviated from most of the data points. Okay, so the line is getting deviated from most of the data points. So this is the case, and here just look into this. So we are having an example here. So one attribute is matches one, another attribute is age. Okay, so here when age is less, matches one is high. Okay, when age is less, okay, when age is less, the number of matches won. Okay, when age is less, the number of matches won is high. When age get increased, the matches won't get decreased. So this is the scenario. So in this scenario, just look into this. The data distribution is like this. The curve is fitted here, so we can say this is underfitting. Okay, how to solve this underfitting? So in order to solve this underfitting in linear regression, we went to polynomial regression. Okay, we used polynomial regression. I'm sorry. Okay, we used polynomial regression. In polynomial regression, so we are having the equation like y equal to mx plus c is the equation for linear regression. And in polynomial regression, we are using polynomial features. So we can say that as matches 1 equal to theta 0 plus theta 1 into age plus theta 2 into age square plus theta 3 into age cube up to n number of degrees you can go. You can go up to n number of degrees. Okay, so that is the case. You can go up to n number of degrees. From 0 degree to n degree you can go. So it will increase the quality of the model, it will enhance the quality of the model, it will make your curve more fitted in the data distribution. What it will do, it will make your curve, it will make your curve more fitted into the data distribution. It will make your curve perfectly fitted into the data distribution. That's what it will do. Okay, so that is the specialty of this polynomial regression. Through polynomial regression, what we can get, we can get good fitting. So the drawback is in this polynomial regression, or in this higher, using this higher order equation, the drawback is if you go with high number of degrees, see like this, if you go with high number of degree, matches 1 equal to theta 0 plus theta 1 age, theta 2 into h square, theta 3 into h cube, theta 4 into h power 4. If you go with higher order equation, if you go with higher order equation, what will happen? Overfitting makeup. Okay, so each and every data point influence the curve. Here, what is happening? Here, each and every data point is influencing the curve. Okay, each and every data point is influencing the curve. So in this particular scenario, when each and every data point is influencing the curve, in this particular position, we are suffering from overfitting problem. Okay, how we are suffering? We are suffering from overfitting problem. So how to avoid this overfitting? So this is the overfitting problem. How to avoid the overfitting? So in order to avoid the overfitting, we have to stand in between. We have to stand in between underfitting and overfitting. That's what we are doing with regularization. Okay. So actually, even if the curve is perfectly fitted into the data points, your prediction will be wrong. Okay, your curve should be a generalized one, and also it will not go to underfitting and it will not go to overfitting. So it should be in the middle. It should be in the middle. So that is the essential thing. It should be in the middle. So we have to maintain that. How we are maintaining that? For that, we have to go with regularization. How the regularization is going to do that? That we have to see. Just look into this solution. See here, with the help of shrinkage method. So shrinkage method is also called regularization. With the help of shrinkage method and with the help of L1 regularization and L2 regularization, you will get this kind of okay, you will get this kind of curve. Okay, this is actually you can say this is a perfect curve. Okay, by this curve you can able to get good quality model. Okay, see here. Yeah, so the here thing is, so you have to understand, try to make theta and theta 4 close to 0. Yeah, we will explain this in detail. Now the concept which we are having here is, see, give me a minute. See here. So I hope everyone know, based on the mean square error only, our model is getting fitted properly. Okay, so our intention is to reduce the mean square error. MSC is nothing but mean square error. Mean square error is telling how much the curve is deviated from the data distribution. Mean square error is telling how much the curve is deviated from the data distribution. That we have to find how much the curve is deviated from the data distribution. That we have to know and that we have to identify. Okay, so our intention in the gradient descent algorithm, okay, we've discussed about gradient descent algorithm. So our intention in the gradient descent algorithm is to reduce the MSC, to reduce the MSC. Okay, so we have to reduce the MSC in order to reach the global minima. So MSC formula takes vital role. Based on the MSC formula only, we are reducing the, the gradient descent algorithm is working. So we are actually reducing the MSC and we are reaching the global minima. So that is what we have studied in the gradient descent algorithm. I would like to show that slide now. Okay, just to give a better understanding to you. See here, this we have discussed in gradient descent algorithm, mean square error, and here the initially the MSE mean square error is high. Okay, mean square error is high initially. So after what to say, in each and every iteration, we are reducing the MSE, and our intention is to have minimum MSE. So our MSE is getting reduced, getting reduced, getting reduced, and it is reaching global minima. Okay, it is reaching global minima. Okay, so whenever it is reaching global minima, that global minima's M and intercept is taken and the line is found. See here MSE is high. See in this position MSE is high. Whenever it is going like this, MSE get increased, get decreased, get decreased. Here perfectly fitted. We can reach global minima somewhere here, and here also MSE is high. So like that we are doing the things. Okay. So our intention is to reduce the MSE. So when now our gradient descent algorithm is reducing the MSE, and MSE is very minimum here. MSE is very minimum here. So based on this MSE we are doing, and MSE is very minimum in this particular point, but curve is fitted in the data distribution properly. MSE is less, but we are suffering from overfitting problem. Okay, we are suffering from overfitting problem. See here, like this, we are suffering from overfitting problem. Okay, we are suffering from overfitting problem like this. Okay, so how to solve this overfitting problem? For that only we are getting into the regularization. Now look at this slide. Why this regularization problem comes? Sorry, why this overfitting problem comes in the sense, if we use higher order equation, see here, yi minus h theta of xi. This is nothing but, yi is the actual, yi is the actual value, actual y value. This is predicted value. H theta of xi is nothing but, polynomial regression. After applying polynomial regression or polynomial features on this x, we will get this. Mostly we were applying polynomial features on the x data. That's why this h theta of xi is coming. Okay, now just look into this. After applying this polynomial feature with higher order equation, after applying polynomial features with this higher order equation, what we are getting, after applying these polynomial features with higher order equation, okay, we are getting overfitting problem. Okay, if we go with higher order equation, we are getting overfitting problem. So how to solve this? So in order to solve that only, we are having this formula. So we change the MSE formula like this. So here, this part, okay, you have to concentrate this part. You have to understand this part. Okay, so what is happening in this part is, let me check. Yeah, it is recording only. Okay, oh, good. So you have to concentrate on this part. So what is happening in this part? So here, we are adding penalty for overfitting. Okay, so we are adding penalty for higher order equation. Where the overfitting is happening? Overfitting is happening because of using higher order equation in polynomial regression. So in polynomial regression, if you increase the degree, theta 1 into x1, theta 2 into x1 square cube, x1 power 4, x1 power 4, 5, if you increase the degree, overfitting will come. If you increasing the degree, normally error will get reduced. Error will get reduced in the sense each and every data point is influencing the curve and overfitting will happen. So again, the prediction will go wrong. So how to restrict this? We are restricting that by this formula. In this formula, in this red part, by this red part, we are adding the penalty for this higher order equation. We are adding penalty. Penalty in the sense, if you use higher order equation, MSE will get increased. Okay, so we are restricting. We are restricting to use higher order equation. By that, we are regularizing the model. Here, I would like to tell one analogy to you. Say, for example, if you ride slowly in a traffic, if you ride slowly in the traffic, the vehicles which is coming behind you are also need to come slowly. Okay, all the vehicles which is coming behind you need to. So say for example, you're having a car or bike, you're going only 10 kilometer per hour speed in the middle of the road, and the vehicles which is coming behind you also need to come slowly, and it will create a congestion in the traffic. So all are getting delayed because of you. So in order to avoid this, the police officers are bringing, coming up with a new rule like, so you should not ride your scooter or car below the speed in this particular area. Okay, that rule is there. So because of that rule, what is happening? This underspeed problem gone. This underspeed problem gone. That means our underfitting. Okay, this means our underspeed problem gone. Then everyone started riding in a faster way. So overspeed problem came. Okay, everyone started riding fastly, so accidents are happening. That also not good for traffic. So overspeed. So we have to set a limit over there, and we have to put penalty for overspeed also. And somehow the traffic officials are regularizing the thing. Okay, so you have to drive from this speed to this speed. So likewise, we are having a constraint. So the same way here, that underspeed is nothing but underfitting, overspeed is nothing but overfitting. Okay, so so MSE is the one. By that, we are suffering from the overfitting problem. So not a normal linear regression is suffering from overfitting problem. So we are getting into the polynomial regression. The polynomial regression, with the help of polynomial features, we are solving the underfitting problem and we are suffering from overfitting problem. How to solve this overfitting problem? How the overfitting problem is coming? When you use higher order equation, the overfitting problem is coming. So if you add penalty for the overfitting in the MSE equation itself, if you are adding penalty for higher order equation, then the gradient descent algorithm will regularize your model and everything will go perfectly. Okay, you can avoid. See, here we are using the higher order equation. If you increase the degree, see here each and every degree theta value get increased. Theta naught, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, theta 5. Each and every degree theta values get increased. Right? So, if theta values get increased, model curve will get more fitted in the data distribution. Each and every data point is influencing the curve. If degree get increased, and we will suffer by overfitting problem. So here what we are doing for the degree, for the theta, if more degree, here more value will come. If you have used more degree, that means if you are using higher order equation, if you're using more degree, this part will get more weightage. Then obviously MSE will get increased. So if MSE will get increased, error will get increased. So through MSE, through this error, we are controlling the model by using higher order equation. So we will not suffer by overfitting problem by this. Actually, we are controlling the model. We are regularizing the model. Okay, so this is the way we are working here. This is nothing but L1 regularization. Okay, this is nothing but L1 regularization. So in L2 regularization, we are having the formula like this, and this one. Only the formula here we are using absolute value, here we are using normal value. That is the difference between L1 regularization and L2 regularization. So this is nothing but lasso regression. This is nothing but ridge regression. So lasso regression and ridge regression. Okay. So here now we are going to implement that, and I am going to demonstrate how the lasso regression and ridge regressions are working through, what to say, practically using scikit-learn. Now I would like to say some important things to you. See here lambda. So why this theta is used for penalty? Why lambda? Here the lambda is used as a tuning parameter. Okay, you can increase the MSE value and you can decrease the MSE value according to your need. So it is simply a kind of knob. By that you can adjust the MSE value. If you want more MSE, you can go with more MSE. If you want less MSE, say for example, you are not using higher order equation. You are not using higher order equation. You are using lower order equation only. Even though in that position your MSE value is high, and you are getting overfitted in the sense, here you have to use very less value, or you can use negative value also. Okay, and by that you can control MSE and you can regularize. So after using higher order equation, still your model is in underfitting. So in that position, you can increase the lambda value and you can control. So mostly if theta value is less, lambda value is high. If theta value is high, lambda value is less. That is the general idea. Okay, see, the lambda is tuning knob, penalizing higher value of theta. Okay, so adding penalty for your higher order equation in this red color part. It is nothing but a fine tuning the model. It is nothing but a fine tuning the model. So L1 regularization is nothing but lasso regression, L2 regularization is nothing but ridge regression. Okay, so this is what the theory thing about the regularization. Okay, now we are getting into the practical stuff. Okay, so I'm getting into the practical with Jupyter Notebook. I request you all to open Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so be ready with Jupyter Notebook in order to do the practical thing. Okay, are you ready? Shall we go? Are you following, students? Yes or no? Bhumik, Banshi, Kishan Singh, Vaishwari, Devnesh, Sanjay, Duru. Okay, Devnesh is asking, can you give us a break? We have 5 chapters for mid-sem. Still, we don't know that whether our mid will take an online or offline. Okay, so Kishan is saying is, Devnesh, break you're asking. Actually, this portion is there for the mid-sem also. So, you know, once I have completed the practical stuff, you can get in. So I think you are asking the preparation time. Actually, as of now, you know, the examination cell and all are clear about mid-sem. Mid-sem is going to happen offline only. Okay, so that is the thing. And yeah, you can take your time for the preparation once I have completed this, because this is the practical thing. This all other so I have to complete it this in this week. So okay, so you're asking the important questions. um, okay, so what I can give is, important. There is no concept of important question here. If I give important question or something, because you will get suffer in the examination, because all the possible questions in the chapter is there in the question bank, so you will get random questions from that. So how you have to answer and how the question will come, I will give an awareness to you. I will create an awareness to you, so you can uh, you know you can listen this. I'm just getting into the my part, and I just give an opinion to you. Okay, so I'm just creating an awareness to you, how you will get question and all as per my delivery. No, actually, it is not like that. There is no question bank, and y- you know so I'm just creating an awareness to you students, how the question will come and all. Okay, so you are not restricted to Dinesha content or my content or anyone's content. You are free to prepare with any content, but I'm simply creating some awareness to you with my content. Okay, so actually, most of the things even I have conveyed to you through my PPT and laboratory. See here, yeah. So say for example, this if you want this material, this study material for you, you can get it from the TC1 or TC3 or those students. Otherwise I will share with you, I will share this with you. Otherwise you can get it from TC1 and TC3 students. Even you can use Dinesh's content and any one content from the web you can use, but the concept is same. Linear regression is linear regression, whether Dinesh sir is teaching, I'm teaching that, or anyone in the any other professors, the content is same. Okay, so what you have to consider is, see, just think about this linear algebra. In linear algebra, so we are having the scalars, vector. Okay, so what kind of questions you will get? You will get what is scalar, what is vector. Okay, so give some example for scalar variable, give some example for vectors, and how the vector is represented. What is the formula to find magnitude of the vector? See, root of 4 square in, if the vector is represented 4 comma 3, root of 4 square plus 3 square is the magnitude of the vector. How to find magnitude? What is the difference between two-dimensional vector and three-dimensional vector? Okay, and how to calculate magnitude of vector, magnitude and direction. Okay, how to find the magnitude and direction for the vector. Okay, so these are all the basic things about vector. Okay, what is unit vector? Unit vector is the vector which is having magnitude 1. Okay, so these are all the possible questions we can able to take. Uh, we should not do the question bank to. Okay, so these are all the possible questions. You just look into my content and Dinesh sir content, and just think what are all the possible questions can be asked, and you have to be ready for that. Okay, see here, vector addition, vector subtraction, vector multiplication. Okay, so what is orthogonal vector? Okay, orthogonal vector is something, if you do x vector into y vector, this multiplication you do, you will get 0. Okay, so dot product, if you do x, magnitude of x vector, magnitude of y vector, cos 90 equal to 1. So this is about orthogonal vector and the matrix multiplication, addition. These are all the basic things. So this is the concept behind the linear algebra. So this is there in the linear algebra. So more than that, there is no possibility to ask the question. Yeah, I will share the slide and everything. So I'm just brushing up what are all the things is there for the um, you know midsem examination. By that, this is what I have done for my batch also. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about this linear algebra. And you have, so in this material you have, see, supporting material also. If PPT content, sometime I may have used the PPT content only as a facilitator thing. So in that, if you don't have more theory part, in the sense, if you have connected with the class, you can able to get this. Otherwise you can refer this this PDF notes or Word notes. And here, uh, this is about the unit 1 linear algebra. And see, this is second unit is very simple. See, first unit and second unit is nothing. Devnesh, you don't no need to worry about the 5 units are there in the yeah, I'm coming to that, Vaishwari. I'm coming to that, don't worry. uh, okay, See, don't no need to worry about the 5 units are there. Actually, first unit is very simple. That is linear algebra. There is nothing but vector, scalar. These stuffs what we have discussed: matrix multiplication, matrix addition, and all. And second unit is the basic thing: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, the introduction about machine learning, all about application. That's all. See, yeah, matrices and vectors. Some make some is in the form like calculate the magnitude of the vector. It may come in 1 mark or 2 mark or 4 mark maybe. And matrix multiplication, matrix addition, these kind of sum. And let me explain the remaining things in linear regression and multilinear regression. Least square method sum may come. Okay, see here, just think about this. I will come chapter by chapter. See here, in this particular chapter, intro, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning, just look into it. Okay, see here, all are general thing. What is machine learning, and what is AI, what is the role of machine learning in AI, what is the difference between machine learning and AI, these kind of things. Okay, so these are all general questions. See here, applications of machine learning, you have image recognition, speech recognition, medical diagnosis, lot of things. So in this particular case, okay, so in this particular chapter, you are getting more general question, like explain in detail about machine learning or supervised learning, unsupervised learning. So applications of machine learning. So applications of machine learning, you can write anything. Okay, it is not a highly specific question, general question only. Say for example, how you will get a specific question in this particular chapter, in the sense you may get the question like, explain in detail about the applications of machine learning in the field of agriculture, in the field of medical diagnosis, in the field of finance. This kind of question is coming. You should not tell, we don't have content for that. Even there is no content related to this in PPT and in material, and in Dinesh material I don't have that content, and then Kadish's material don't have content. Don't think about that. These are all the general questions. As a student, as a 8th semester students, you are studying machine learning. You have to write. You know what is machine learning, and you have to write how it is related to agriculture, how it is related to education field, how it is related to medical diagnosis, how it is related to finance. That you have to write your own content. Okay, if you have that kind of sense in your mind now, no need to prepare. Otherwise, you just refer the general websites, and even in newspaper you can get the details of this. Okay, but you have to write some content which is related to the machine learning and technical content, not like a layman. Okay, you have to go one step ahead. Okay, and apart from that, what I can ask in this, simply, what is AI, what is ML, and how AL is differ from ML. Okay, so how the AI, ML, and deep learning are related. Okay, so these kind of questions you will get. Okay, so what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, what is reinforcement learning. Okay, so how supervised learning is differ from unsupervised, what are all the algorithm under supervised, what are all the stuffs under unsupervised. These thing only. Classification and regression are belongs to supervised. So these kind of concepts only. Okay, so clustering association belongs to unsupervised. And how reinforcement is happening in gaming field, how reinforcement learning works, all these things. Okay, if this content is, this PPT is not conveying more content or more clear idea to you, if you're connected with the classes, this is more than enough. But if you're not connected with the class, you may de-attach it with this PPT. In that case, you have to go and refer the material which is there here. Okay, so material is also there here. Okay, so this I will share with you. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is all about the chapter, yeah, unit 2. Okay, unit 2 is mostly about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning introduction and the applications. Okay, so when you are getting into the third, here only, you have a lot of things to discuss. First one is the linear regression. Okay, so if you go ahead with linear regression, we are having simple linear regression, and here you will get a general question as well as, so I hope you know how to write content for the examination. So if you know the answer, you can write. If you don't know the answer also, you have to write the relevant content. Don't leave any question. And also you have to write, what you need to do is you have to uh, write the relevant content. And if you say, for example, what I'm telling you, you have to write enough content. Say, for example, for the 8 mark question, if you write only 2 3 lines of answers, we can't provide mark for you. Okay, so yeah, Devnesh, I will come. I will answer your question also. Yeah, wait. Okay, see here in simple linear regression, you may get question like general question, explain in detail about simple linear regression, or discuss in detail about simple linear regression. In that case, you can write what is simple linear regression, what is the use of simple linear regression, and y equal to mx plus c. You have to explain about how that equation is taking its own role in linear regression, and how the model is fitted. What is the mathematics behind linear regression? You can take your own example and you can explain. Okay, that part you can do. Okay, that part you can do. And other important thing is, so you are asking whether we need to write the code or not. Yeah, if I ask general question, if you get general question for the examination, if you get general question like explain in detail about it, you can write the code also. You are not restricted. Okay, in order to enhance your answer, in order to enhance your content, you can write the code also. Okay, so yeah, so this is about this. So this, we have discussed about in in this simple linear regression, we have what is independent variable, what is dependent variable, what is the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable, and regression model, positive correlation, negative correlation. Okay, positive relationship and negative relationship, error, what is the role of MSE, and y equal to mx plus c in that, what is y, what is x, what is m, what is c. Okay, slope. Okay, slope, intercept, everything. Okay, so negative slope, positive slope, zero slope. And the problem, least square method. Okay, in least square method you may get problem. Okay, so here, simple x and y are there. Okay, so by this you can find, see, formulas are there in order to find m, sigma x y, sigma x into sigma y. Formulas are there. By this you can able to calculate b and c, and you can able to do prediction also. This is least square method sum. So this least square method based sum is, some may come. This sum may come, otherwise some other sum may come in least square method. Okay. So in simple linear regression and in multilinear regression, you will get a problem associated with simple linear regression. Okay. So Python code you may refer and you may mention in the examination for the, in order to enhance your answer. Okay. See, and also, so in simple linear regression, other important thing is gradient descent algorithm. Okay, in gradient descent algorithm, so this we have discussed in the laboratory class also. So how the gradient descent algorithm is used, what is the use of cost function, what is MSE, what is global minima, okay, how we are reaching global minima, how MSE is working. So the gradient descent algorithm. If this PPT content is not enough for you, you can refer the material which is attached. And what is the slope of 2 points in a line? Okay, and also how to find the slope of a point in the curve. Okay, for that we have to get into the differential calculus. Okay, see here. Um, this is also available. See, if your curve is x square, if your curve is x square, here also you can get general question like explain in detail about gradient descent algorithm. Then you can write your own answer generally. See, x square is, if you do differentiation on x square, you will get 2x. So if the curve is x square, 2x is the, if your curve is x square, 2x is the slope of a point at any point in x. Say for example, if x is 2, your slope is 4. Okay, likewise we have discussed about this differential calculus and all, even in the lab class we have done. Okay, so this is gradient descent algorithm. So here also you will get general question like explain in detail about gradient descent algorithm. If we go specialized questions or 1 mark or 4 mark questions in the sense, what is global minima, what is MSE? Okay, these kind of questions. Okay, so yeah, so if we go with this multilinear regression. So in multilinear regression also, you will get the question like, what is the formula for simple linear regression? What is the formula for multilinear regression? How the formulas are getting differed? And you can write with your own example. You can take your own example data and you can write. Okay. So here also, in multilinear regression, you have problem, least square method problem. Okay. That is simple mathematics problem, least square method problem. Okay, simply solving multilinear regression problem using mathematics, using covariance. See, using this formula, you have covariance of x comma y. You have formula. After finding covariance, you can find b1 and b2. After finding b1 and b2, you can find the intercept. Okay, see intercept C also you can find. You can able to find M1, M2 by least square method. So yeah, this is the least square method problem with respect to multilinear regression. And then polynomial regression. So yeah, polynomial regression, you have questions like why we need to go for polynomial regression. So in order to solve underfitting problem, we are going for, see here, underfitting problem. In order to solve underfitting problem, we are going for polynomial regression. Okay. So here, how the polynomial regression is used with respect to an array, what is polynomial features, okay, and what is RMSE, root mean square error. Here, what is R square? It is also a kind of measurement. RMSE and R square are the measures. You have the detailed explanation with this PPT. What is R square? What is RMSE? And what is underfitting? What is overfitting? Okay, how the polynomial regression equation looks like. What is degree in polynomial regression? This all we have discussed. I think even in the laboratory we have discussed, and overfitting, underfitting, and the bias and variance. So this is very important, bias and variance trade-off. Okay, so what is bias? What is variance? What is the role of bias and variance in the model quality? So we have to keep low bias, low variance thing. Okay, so optimum model, how to choose. See here overfitting, here underfitting. We have to keep balanced model. These are all the basic things in polynomial regression. Okay, so you make good question, the like general question and also specialized question for polynomial regression. In logistic regression, so in logistic regression, you will get why we are going with logistic regression. Actually, logistic regression is used to solve classification problem. What is the logistic regression? What is sigmoid function in logistic regression? Okay, so types of logistic regression. We have binary logistic regression, multinomial logistic regression, ordinal logistic regression. What is decision boundary? Okay, all these questions. You just look into the slide and you find what are all the possible questions can be asked. So you're not restricted to this content. You can go with any content, but the question is coming like this only. So be ready. This is the course content. Okay. So share in Telegram group. Yes, yes. I will share. Okay. I will upload it in the Google Classroom, as well as I will share in the Telegram group. Telegram group now itself I will share. So it is getting, it is uploading. So once I will mark, okay, I need to share the material to TD1 plus also. TD1 class. Okay, so I will do that now. I would like to get into the practicals. Mm, see here, what you need to do is, we are going to do this particular experiment with a data set Melbourne housing full CSV. So first you have to import NumPy. Okay, first what you need to do is you have to import NumPy. NumPy as NP, import Matplot, Pandas, Seaborn as SNS. So if you don't have Seaborn, you install Seaborn and add this. So this is for data visualization. I think we are not going to use this. Just install this. Maybe in future, and it will be useful for you. Okay, so data set you're declaring, in that you are reading Melbourne housing full csv. I will share this data set with you. Melbourne housing full csv. Yes. Melbourne users. Telegram group. I'm sharing this. This particular data set to you. Okay. This is, see, Melbourne housing full data set. You just look into this data set. It contains, these are all the details: house details, rooms, type, price, method, distance, postcode, bathroom, land size, building, all the information. In that, you may not need all the data. So, see, this is the data set, okay, which we are having. Okay. So, you can see the data set. Yeah. So, these are all the attributes you are having. So, if you want to see each and every attribute with those unique values, you can able to see by this code dataset dots n unique. By executing this dataset dot n unique, by executing this you can get, see, suppose if you take address, in address you have 34009, these many unique values you are having. So that those many addresses you are having. So 12 types of rooms you are having, three types in this, and price 2871 prices are there. Totally, this is very big data set. See totally how much you are having, how much you know yeah, 34857 tuples you are having. So bigger data set. So in this data set, so 78 dates you are having, likewise. So after that you are getting into the shape, data shape. See, it's totally 34857 attributes you are having, and 21 21 attributes you are having, 34857 tuples you are having. Okay, see, and we are not going to use all the columns here. We are going to use only specific columns. These are all the columns we are selecting. See, you can select your own number of columns and you can do your model. So it's not essential you need to select all the columns, because as a machine learning engineer or as a data scientist, you have to choose what are all the columns essential, and you have to select those columns and you have to use those columns. That is very essential. Okay, so here, you know so the columns to use, we are restricted that now the data set is contains with only the columns which we are going to use. Okay, so other columns we have removed. Okay, now just look into this. As of now, what I have done, I am simply sharing this code to you. Okay, so, okay, now you look into it. See here, we are using a new command that is called dataset.isNA.sum. Okay, so dataset.isNA.sum in the sense, this is simply representing the missing values in the dataset. Okay, so this is simply representing the missing values in the dataset. So these are all the missing values. See, in region name we are having three missing values. In property count we are having three missing values. In distance we are having one missing value. In council area, we are having three missing value. In bedrooms two, we are having 8217 missing values. Here we are having 8226 missing values. Here 87. So we have to handle all these missing values. How to handle these missing values? You can handle missing values using mean, using median you can handle, and you filling the missing values by zero you can do by anything. Otherwise you can remove the missing values simply. You can remove all the tuples which is those are having missing values, that you can do. So you can do anything you want. Okay, so according to your need you can do the things. Okay, so now how we are going to handle this missing values, just look at this. Now see, columns to fill zero. So we are taking these missing values, sorry, these attributes: property count, distance, bedroom 2, bathroom, and car. In these, okay, in these, we are filling with zero. Okay, these columns we are taking separately, and what we are doing is we are filling these columns with zero. Okay, by this particular code. Okay, so if you execute this code, these kind of these things will be filled by zero. See, now you can able to see the output. See here, property count zero, distance zero missing value, bedroom 2 zero missing value. See here, these things are having na. So now we filled everything with zero. So this is one part. Okay, so okay, so I'm sharing this with you. This also with you. Another thing is, see, another part what we are doing is, just look at this. And for building area attribute and building area attribute and land size attribute. These two attributes we are filling with mean. Okay, these two attributes, building area and land size, these two attributes we are filling with mean value. Okay, these two attributes we are filling with mean value. Okay, so after filling these things with mean value, what you're getting is building area is 0, right? Cleared. And here also land size, and we can get 0. So these things get 0. Building area and land size 0. Building area is also 0. Now only these two are there. Region name, distance and price. Okay. How we are handling these three? How we are handling these three? Region name, council area and price. This can be handled easily. Drop NA, simply dropping those things. By simply dropping those things, you will get like this. Okay, see, also I'm sharing. Simply dropping that, you will get yeah, here you will get all 0 now. We have dropped all the missing values. Okay, so that's what we have done. Yes, are you following, students? Are you following the practicals or not? Yes or no? Yes, no answer from your side. Yes, Dhruv, Devansh, Vaishwari, are you listening? Okay, yeah. So now after after making all the missing values, after handling all the missing values, now we are having all 0. We have handled all the missing values. So now here we are using a new thing, that is not we are using with PD, I mean pandas, get dummies. By this code, what we are doing is we are making all the categorical variables into numerical variables. Say for example, before that, see here, now all are numerical values. Just look into this. All are numerical values. But before this, we were having categorical variables. So we have converted that into numerical values. That we have done here. Okay, that we have done here. Okay, so now we have done with all the data pre-processing. Up to this, we have done with all the data pre-processing. Okay, all the code has been shared with you. Okay, now we have done with all data pre-processing. Okay, after this only we are going to create a model, and we are simply going to create a linear regression model. After creating linear regression model, we are going to check the after creating the linear regression model, we are going to check the accuracy of the model. After finding the accuracy, we are going to apply regularization techniques, lasso regularization and regularization. So we are going to see how the model got improved with the help of regularization techniques. Those things we are going to see. Okay. See, now X and Y we are splitting. So in X, so actually we are going to predict price only. So price only a response variable, price only an independent, price only a dependent variable. So except price, all are independent variables. So drop price in X, what we are having, X is the object, or X is a variable which contains all the attributes except price. Okay. And in Y, we should have only price. In Y we should have only price. So after that you can display the X and you can display the Y. Now after getting X and Y, what we need to do is we have to split the data set into training set and testing set. So now we are splitting it into training set and testing set. See here, the function which we are using to split training set and testing set is train test split. Okay, train test split is the function which we are using here to split. Okay, train test split. See, here test size is 0.3. It means 30 percentage of the data set is used for testing. Remaining 70 percentage is used for training. Okay, that is the specialty which we are having. Okay, and so after splitting this into training set and testing set, we are we are doing linear regression. So we are performing linear regression and we have fitted and we have done fitting. Then we are finding the quality of the linear regression. How much quality we are getting in this linear regression? See, only 13 percentage accuracy we are getting. 13 percentage accuracy only. Okay, so now we have to improve the model, no other go. We are going to see how to improve. Okay, we are going to see how to improve. We're going to see how to improve. Okay, yeah. So okay, so this we have done. Now our accuracy is 13 percentage. How to improve the accuracy? For that only we are going for lasso regression. See, so lasso regression we have to take from the linear model and we have to perform this alpha. We are mentioning 50, right? This alpha only tuning parameter. In the PPT we have discussed about tuning parameter. that is mentioned as lambda. This lambda only here we are mentioning as alpha. Okay, by that you can adjust the lasso regression. Okay, so now you will get error. The reason for getting error is this lasso instance fit with appropriate arguments before this estimation. Yeah, so that should be model should be fitted. Now you can get the score. Yeah. Now after after applying lasso regression, just see 13 percentage to 69 percentage we are getting. Okay, 13 percentage to 69 percentage. So it is a huge improvement. 13 percentage to 16 percentage. This is nothing but a regularization, lasso regression. Okay. So up to where I have shared regression fit. So now just look at this lasso. Yeah. So lasso regression we have done. So lasso regression we have done. Now we have to do ridge regression also. So this lasso regression you just do by yourself. I will do how to do. I will teach how to do ridge regression also in a 5 minutes. Okay, students, now we are going to see how to do this ridge regression also. This for same we will do ridge regression and we will see the performance improvement. So in order to do the ridge regression, what you need to do is from Escalon dot linear model import ridge in ridge regression equal to ridge of alpha equal to 50 maximum iterations equal to 100 here equal to 0.1 dot fit by see the ridge regression have given 66 percentage. It is less than lasso. Okay, so lasso is best in this particular performance improvement. Okay, so in this way you have to do the regularization. Okay, this is nothing but lasso and ridge regression. Okay, so this ridge regression part also I'm going to share with you. I'm sorry. So yeah, you have to meet the deadline in the submission of lab experiments. So you have to do by your own and you have to submit it in the Google Classroom, and also you have to show the output verified to me. So you have to do this in a proper way. So any doubt with respect to today's experiment? Any of you having doubt? Yes, Bhumik, Mansi, Nilay, Vaishwari. Devnish, Sanjay, Yash. Okay, good, good. Okay, Bhumik,
Present, sir.
Vaishwari present, right? Bhumik present, Vaishwari present, Devnish present.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anjali, Anjali absent. Kishan Singh,
Yes, sir.
okay. Kishan Singh present, yeah. Bansi, Bansi also
Present,
present.
sir.
Okay. Devanshu, Devanshu also I have seen. Huh? Devanshu present, right?
No, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yash, Yash present.
Present, sir.
Okay. Nilay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Sanjay, Sanjay, where is Sanjay? Sanjay is here, okay. Duru,
Yes, sir.
Duru present. Nayan, and Miyatra. Okay. Yeah. Okay, students. See you. See you. See you in next laboratory.